Hello there, and welcome to another Rural Pickin' Dad video. Usually my videos are videos of me going through lockers or maybe at a flea market, but I've done one or two here where I kind of do some DIY projects. As I've mentioned, my part-time picker shack has been falling apart. This wet summer has only made things worse, and so now it's time for me to put a new roof on the part-time picker shack. I have been in the process of it. You might have seen a short I did showing some of the strapping, and I've finished up the strapping, and what I'm getting ready to do is put up some trim and then slowly put the metal up. And I am doing this slowly. Being a full-time dad, it's a little harder to get some projects done, but I'm getting there. So I thought maybe I'd shoot some video, maybe get a time lapse of some of the stuff I'm doing today. I'll probably make this whole video of at least roofing the whole one side. But this is just the start. I'm gonna try to get some flashing up today and a few pieces, and we'll keep going from there. So I thought I'd just show you real quick the strapping that I've put up. So yeah, what I'm doing, is just a quick over the shingles roof repair. I did a lot of debating of maybe taking the shingles off, re-shingling, but just time-wise and budget-wise, I think this is my best bet. I know there's some debate about, doing right over shingle, but I think it's gonna work. It's not gonna be the prettiest job, but again, this is an old shed. It's not a house, so I feel like I can take some shortcuts. That's just me personally. Just hanging out with the bees here as I'm working on the roof. The flashing went on a lot faster than I was expecting, which is nice. So I know the metal roof part is not going to be as easy. But yeah, so I've only put two pieces of this drip edge on so far. I'll have to put one more piece as I get farther down. Right now I'm just doing one side of the barn. I will focus on the other one hopefully here shortly. But I'll show you real quick just what I've done. Put this drip edge on. I do got a little bit of warping down there. It's mainly because this shed is just not even whatsoever. I did my best, but overall, it shouldn't be a problem at keeping the water out once I get the metal down on it. But yeah, so you just put this stuff up along the edge, and then I just used these little roofing nails to hold it in. You can use like panhead screws, which I probably should have used because my fat little fingers, it was hard to hold these in. I dropped quite a few nails while I was putting this up. And the other challenge is just putting this stuff up by yourself. I don't know if it caught on the time lapse, but I dropped a piece when I was first doing the first run. And then I put the second run over the first run about 4 inches, I think, or 4 or 5 inches. They say to do at least that. And I started from the back coming forward because then the people won't, the seams won't be as noticeable as somebody pulls in your driveway. But yeah, so that went up pretty quick. So yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get started on the metal roof here shortly. All right, guys, you are now on top of the part-time picker shack. It has been quite a while since I started shooting this video. Just family things, and I actually won a locker. And I think you'll probably see that video before this one because I'm doing this piece by piece. So this will come out a little later once I've kind of finalized things. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of prep work. I had to get some closures I realized I didn't have, so I couldn't start doing the roof until I got those closures, to keep pests out of the ridges in these metal sheets that I just made shake. And then, and yesterday I did some pre-drilling of holes for the first run of metal sheets. I didn't get that on video. It's really hard to set up a camera when you're just trying to get projects done and so forth, and adding a camera to it definitely adds some time and so forth. So I didn't get any video of that, but yeah, so I've pre-drilled all the holes. We're about ready to start laying the metal sheets on the roof, but first I'm going to take this big old leaf blower here and blow my roof off because my neighbors have some beautiful big old pine trees, but unfortunately they cover my shed in needles every year. So I want to get all that debris off, and then we'll start putting the metal sheets down. That, my friends, is why you wear gloves when you're working with metal and metal roofs. Actually, it's not a bad cut. I didn't even know I was bleeding until I looked down. So, but yeah, you probably should wear gloves when you're working with sheet metal. Not a bad idea. So the metal's actually going up very quick. I'm very pleased. You may have seen my little happy dance I did during the time lapse, but the prep work, that's where it's really been time consuming. Getting the strapping up, getting measurements right for all the holes and so forth, pre-drilling. That stuff took some time. But the metal going up, it was easy, and I'm very excited about it. I've got one of the worst parts of the roof covered. I know that's leaking. I still got to get the upper part to make sure that it's 100% sealed. But yeah, it's good progress. There's rainstorms coming this weekend, so I hope to have this done this weekend. So I've got this laid, this lower paneling done all the way, except for the very last piece down on that end. And I didn't even pre-drill that piece because it was, it's going to be a little different. I didn't want to drill holes that didn't need to be in there. So I'll put that piece up as I get closer to the end. I think I'm going to actually start the upper runs and figure out how I'm going to do that end piece, because on that end there's some work to happen. The very end of the building that's not really covering the shed, it's like an outside part of covering of the shed, is sinking a little. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get that lifted back up and so forth. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I watched lots of YouTube videos on screw placement and that stuff. So some people talk about you can put it down in the lower part, or up on the ridge here. But I decided not to do the ridge just because this roof's already so kind of warped and not even, that if you do it wrong, your metal gets wavy, and it's going to be wavy just because the roof on this shed is wavy. So I put it in the valleys. And then the other thing you don't want to do when you're doing this is screw these in too tight. They talk about it pancaking. So all stuff I learned on YouTube, the wonderful place that it is. So, but yeah, so making progress. I haven't put the screws in on this bottom part because I do have to put these little closures in. You put those in so that you don't get bugs and stuff like wasps, making wasp nests and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's coming together pretty quickly, and I'm very happy. All right, guys, it has been a couple hours since I've been out here. I had to deal with getting the kids home from school and so forth, but I'm back on the roof. I'm getting ready to do the second run, the higher run on this metal roof, and I think this is going to be a little more challenging. I think the way I'm going to approach it, I'm actually not going to pre-drill these ones. I'm finding that these screws actually self-tap pretty well, so I'm feeling a little more confident in not pre-drilling. But yeah, I've got some things to deal with, and I also kind of show you some things I ran into on the bottom part. So I'll show you here right now. All right, so I had put those closures in the bottom on this first run, but I did notice as I was doing so that on the seam that I actually wanted to put a screw on the high part here because it really was loose. They actually a lot of people will put like the sealant tape in here to help keep moisture from coming up underneath. I think I'm going to be okay. If I feel like I need to, I could always go back and do that, I guess, but I think I'll be okay. But I did find that I did want to put a screw at the seams just to keep that tighter, because without it, I think the wind would have got up under there and had a really good chance of like ripping it up easier. So just a little more protection from the wind. Now here's the challenge with this one. So I'm overlapping here, but as you can see, there really is there's this curve in the roof here, but I do believe it's going to be forgiving enough that I can just push it down and screw it, and it will just kind of bow with the roof. Because the other option would have been to have a transition eave there or flashing to do that, but I don't think I need to do that. And so here, where the challenge is going to be, is I've got to measure this out. I got to put a sealant tape along these ridges here, about 2 inches up. I think I wrote 2 there. To help keep water from going up in here once I do that. And then just above that, I have a board somewhere in here that I can anchor to. And you want to put the screws in after the sealant tape, because if you put it before, there's potential for water to get up and go down those screw holes. So this is all stuff I've learned by watching lots and lots of videos. So I hope I'm doing this right. So yeah, I think this upper section is going to take me quite a bit longer. And right now I actually only have 4 pieces, but I have a feeling it will take me just as long to put those 4 pieces up as it did to put up the 8 that I ran along the bottom. So, and hopefully, even if I don't get this done before this weekend rain, the section I'm going to have covered is the worst part of the roof. So hopefully by then we'll at least know if it's working or not and protecting it. It should be. I hope so. So, but yeah, it's a lot of work. You know what I would say? You know, some of the best advice I could give anyone who's working on a roof or doing a DIY job is, if you can afford it, hire someone else to do it, because it's a lot of work. Anyway, I gotta get to work on this, and maybe I'll do a time lapse, show you my results. It has been about 2 weeks, if not longer, since I've actually done some work on this roof. So I'm finally getting back to it, you know, after some auctions, some storage lockers, of course, and just being a dad. But anyway, so I'm back. Like I said, I didn't buy enough materials when I first did this, more on the part that I was worried that my plan wasn't going to work and I'd have to return some stuff, but it's actually working. I think it's looking pretty good. Right now it looks like chaos because it is fall and a lot of leaves and pine needles have fallen back on my roof, but I can show you where I'm at, and we can go from there. So as you can see, I've gotten that and pretty much capped off. I didn't have quite enough material to keep finishing this part of the roof. And as you can see, I am covered in leaves, so I'm gonna have to get up here with the leaf blower again, blow this off. But overall, it went up pretty quick. I'm pretty happy with it. I've still got some screws to put in. I've made a few mistakes. Actually, here, let me see if I can climb up here and not slide off the roof with all these pine needles. Like I said, overall, this stuff's been going on pretty well. I did want to show you this. This was a little oops. It's not that because I was curving the metal or anything. That's literally because I slipped and my big old bum fell on there, and I put a little crease in that ridge there. But overall, it is coming together. Right now it's coming together covered in leaves and pine needles, but we're getting there. Like I said, I have to finish this section here and so forth. I've got the lower part pretty much done, but if I don't get this part capped off, I'm still gonna get water in my shed, because this really right here was the main area where I was having a leak, and putting that part down definitely helped, but I know there's still water getting under like the wood and stuff. So yeah, I want to get this capped off because winter's coming, and I want to save this building because it's a neat little place. Good morning, and it has been a really long time since I have been on the roof of this old shed of mine, but I do have this whole side pretty much covered. Let me show you how it looks. Well, as you can tell, it is a nice frosty morning here in Vermont. Actually, it is Halloween morning, and I am on my way to go get a locker, but I thought I'd show you this roof quick before heading up the road. And yeah, so it looks pretty good, I think. It came together. I've made a few mistakes here and there, but she's capped. I've capped the top temporarily because I'm gonna finish the other side up in the early spring. I'm not gonna get to it before winter hits, I don't believe, just with everything going on. And then I'll just walk over here for a sec. The last thing I gotta do on this side is this gable covering. There's some trim for that, but what I didn't think about is that gable trim's probably not gonna bend as easily as the actual roof pieces. So I'm gonna have to do some thinking and engineering to make that work, but we'll make it work. But it is definitely watertight compared to over the summer. So overall, this ended up being a lot more work than I expected, but I think it turned out good. I think it's gonna be worth it because I really think this old shed is gonna be kind of a cool resale space in the end. I still have a lot left to do, so there might be another DIY video here and there. Let me know if you like them. You know, give this a thumbs up or leave a comment. If you do enjoy these, I will make more of them as I continue to fix up the part-time picker shack. So yeah, that's the video, I think. I'm gonna jump in my car and go head to this other locker I picked up. That means another video. But yeah, if you are enjoying these, as always, like, share, subscribe, and as I always say, stay kind. A little kindness goes a long way.